Thanks for listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast. I'm your host, Mike Luke, joined by the venerable Jason Scheer, the venerable, the vulnerable, you name it. Jason Scheer is it. Hello, Jason Scheer. How are you doing?
What's going on, Mike?
All right. Now, we got a lot to get to this show. I'm trying to, I don't know why that's there, but either way, don't worry about it. Okay. We got a lot to get to this show. First, we're going to talk about Kerr Kriisa. The news that just went down is Kerr Kriisa has been suspended for 9 games for impermissible benefits at the U of A, but the U of A is not at all worried about this. I say it's much ado about nothing from a U of A perspective. Jason Scheer.
Yeah, I don't know the full details, but what I was told by someone close to the team is that it doesn't involve Arizona.
Right.
I think the wording is purposely convoluted a little bit in the release. It could be a bunch of things. It could be that West Virginia paid him when he was at Arizona after he entered the portal or whatever.
Is that the leader in the clubhouse for our speculation?
Yeah, because otherwise, wouldn't Arizona be in trouble?
That's kind of what I was talking with somebody as well. Not the person you were talking to. It's not somebody as high up, but that's what the speculation was there as well. But Arizona has absolutely no concern about this. So this Kerr Kriisa thing is much ado about nothing, I say, Jason Scheer, from an Arizona perspective.
Yeah. I'm not really getting all worked up about it or anything like that.
By the way, isn't this listen, Kerr Kriisa did some very good things here. I'm not going to say he didn't, but there was always something going on with Kerr Kriisa, and it follows to West Virginia right here, Scheer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild.
I mean, it is kind of funny. West Virginia, I mean, when it rains, it pours. I mean, they've had a hell of an off season, but yeah, I mean, look, when Kerr was transferring, we said NIL was a big deal, and I'm just speculating that it probably has something to do with it. And Kerr likes money, and he was going to the highest bidder, and maybe something happened along the way.
All right, now let's talk about on the court. Arizona plays New Mexico Highlands, truly one of the worst exhibition teams that I've ever seen come into McHale, a very bad team. But nonetheless, that doesn't mean we can't get excited about what we saw. Scheer, Caleb Love is the truth. This is the best player on the team. And I think, I was talking with a friend of ours, I believe that he is actually going to be in contention for Pac-12 Player of the Year. That's how big I am on Caleb Love.
Yeah, I mean, he's looked good. Mike, I don't take a lot. I don't take a lot from these games. Yeah, he's looked good against who's guarding him last night? You? Like,
what's wrong with that?
I mean, it's like, we're going to find out sooner than later with Arizona's schedule how he looks. But yeah, I mean, he looks great in the exhibition games. There's no doubt about it.
Are you rooting for him?
Of course I am. Don't be one of these people. People don't realize I always root for Arizona players. I never want to see an Arizona player fail.
All right, but so you are rooting for him. That is good. But although I will say this, here's the thing, and I agree with you. You're actually right on this. You're actually right. I actually like somebody. Talk about a backhanded insult, shoe fly. But yes, these teams are terrible. Again, it looked like you and me out there. That's not a good thing. But what I am encouraged by is that everything that Tommy Lloyd has said about him has been glowing. You watch him on the court, you watch his mannerisms, you watch how the players interact with each other. It's some pretty I mean, it's so far so good with Caleb Love.
Yeah, I'm going to run an interview this week, and Kylan Boswell Media Day had a good quote where I asked about Caleb Love, and he's like, look, I heard the same thing that everyone else heard, which was basically he was a jerk. And he's like, it couldn't be further from the truth. Like, everybody likes him, good team player. His reputation was not deserved. And yeah, I mean, we haven't heard anything bad coming out of practice or from Tommy Lloyd or anything like that. He's been a model citizen so far.
Doesn't that also have a lot to do too? And this is what I was trying to, again, Jason Scheer has been right against me on certain things in the past. As you dutifully noted, Cam Denson did not catch for 1,000 yards at NAU. This is true. But Tommy Lloyd and Hubert Davis are not the same dude. I mean, they're just not. Tommy Lloyd wasn't going to let him come in here and just play hero ball, as the kids would say. And I'm not at all surprised that he's matriculated in this manner, Scheer.
I'm a little surprised.
You shouldn't be either.
I'm a little surprised it's happened this quickly. Like, I thought it would take a little bit more work. And, I still wonder if there's going to be some games where he kind of reverts back to the North Carolina days. But I completely agree with you. I mean, Hubert Davis let these guys do whatever they want on offense and clearly didn't hold Caleb Love or really anyone on that roster responsible for anything. And Tommy Lloyd's the opposite. And it's very clear that their styles of offense are very, very different.
All right, Tony Clifton, the great Tony Clifton. What's happening with Kerr and Arizona basketball? Tony Clifton, that's why you got to be here on time, my friend. But we will rehash. Nothing, Arizona is not at all worried about this. This has really nothing to do with Arizona. Rest easy, my friend. Rest easy. If you sleep with 2 pillows, make sure to still sleep with 2 pillows because you will sleep soundly at night, not worrying about this. All right, TLN. Very good point here, TLN. After watching the exhibition, my takeaways are this. Way too many turnovers. Lots of potential in this team. Keck is the key, boys. I agree with every single thing you said here. Sheer, let's talk turnovers here for a second, because that's why we rely on people like yourself there, TLN, because you're smarter than us. But I did have that in my notes. The turnovers are going to be a thing with Tommy Lloyd's teams. They just are. Now, again, if you can keep him to a minimum, cool. But this isn't like Sean Miller where, anything over 12 turnovers is going to be a real problem. Sheer, at the end of the day, they're going to run. They're going to play free. They're going to turn the ball over.
I mean, I'd have to look at the stats, but it feels like Tommy Lloyd's teams here, especially early in the season, turn the ball over a lot. And then as the season goes on, that kind of disappears. But there's a bunch of guys learning the offense. It's free flowing and all that. There's going to be turnovers. Last night was a really weird game. There were too many turnovers. There were too many 3-point attempts. You could tell Tommy Lloyd wasn't thrilled with it. It almost felt like Arizona knew it was so much better that it kind of just messed around a little bit. It won't be able to do that against good teams. But yeah, I mean, the turnovers are a concern early on the season, but there's going to be some games where Arizona scores 85 points and turns the ball over 20 times, and that's just kind of the way it is.
Are we at the point now where you are convinced that Dylan Anderson has perimeter talent after that 3-pointer that he nailed from the top of the key?
Legitimately, we need to talk about what happened last night with Dylan. I'm glad you brought that up.
Go ahead.
He's the 10th guy. I admit, I was very surprised last night.
Yeah, but I don't see that. Do you see on a real game? Do you see Paulius Morauskas coming off or do you see Philly B getting in the game before Dylan Anderson? Putting you on the spot.
I mean, they're 2 different positions, Mike. But no, I don't.
All right. So your dream of Dylan Anderson being the 10th man is just a mirage for the exhibition. This is what you say.
The 9th man. You're going 9th.
Oh no!
But hey, weird, right? It was weird. I thought it was weird that he was so late, and then the second half. We even texted did he do something wrong? It was interesting.
But can we talk about the 3?
Well, I mean,
the 3 was awesome.
In warmups, he hit a 3 from NBA range. He was looking for that 3.
Sheer was even going so far as to compare him to Keith Van Horn via text.
A slower, not as good Keith Van Horn.
Dylan Van Horn is what you
Dylan Van Horn, just a combination.
Yeah, you'd move him in. All right, Kylan Boswell. I have full confidence in Kylan Boswell. I think he is going. I think Kylan Boswell is kind of the epitome, especially with some of those passes he was making, kind of the epitome where you don't really want to take Tad Boyle's coaching too much into account when you've got the Tommy gun right there. There is clear separation, and I like Jaden Bradley. We're going to get to Jaden Bradley, but there's clear separation between those two, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Kylan Boswell is just way ahead of Bradley right now. More comfortable with the offense. He's going to have a really good season. I'm not worried about him at all. He looks energized after the summer. Yeah, I mean, look, people got to realize too, he didn't play 30 minutes a game last season. So there's going to be games where he struggles, similar to a Noah Fafita type. Noah, this is his first go-around. And I know this isn't Boswell's first go-around, but in some ways it is with extended minutes. And I'm not really worried about it. I think he's going to have some really good games, and he's probably going to have some bad ones. But at the end of the day, I trust him quite a bit.
All right. Now, we got a notification that our reads need to be spontaneous during the shows, which is great for me because all my reads are spontaneous right here. And you know what that means? DraftKings. The NBA is here. We have been talking about the NBA. Suns, everything you need. Now, again, here's the deal. Basketball is back in DraftKings Sportsbook, the unofficial sports betting, or the official sports betting partner of the NBA, is celebrating with an unbeatable offer. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for throwing down $5 in the NBA. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. You'll start the season with an instant dub. Check it out. Now, Again, gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling, 888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and AMP Resort Kansas. Licensing partner, Golden Nugget, Lake Charles, 21 and up by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. 168 hours, my friends. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms for eligibility and deposit restriction, terms and responsible gaming resources. Sheer, I don't think that read was as good as the read yesterday. Is that fair?
Yeah, it was. It felt like it was missing a little bit there.
It did. It really did. All right, now let's get back to other stuff right here. Speaking of the NBA, DeAndre Ayton did have 23 rebounds. Sheer made sure to text that immediately to me right there.
Mike is shifting it to points, though. Rebounds are important, but Mike wants you all to know he's only going to average 9 points a game.
I'm just saying that he and Nurkic are going to put up similar numbers. You agree?
Yeah, I do, actually.
All right. Well, there you go. So, yeah. All right. One thing about this team, though, besides the turnovers, that is a little bit of a concern, not a great concern, but there are definitely certain lineups that are going to be very, very difficult to play at the time or at the same time. It's going to be very difficult to have Jaden Bradley and KJ Lewis in there at the same time because, quite frankly, neither one can shoot. And it's also kind of the shots too, where it looks like a prayer. Now, again, I think that they'll be able to shoot later on, but for this season, Sheer, I don't see both of those guys being able to be on the court at the same time. Just saying it.
It's tough. I'm actually of the belief that shooting in college basketball is kind of overrated. That you don't need to be a good shooting team to win the title in college basketball. You just look back at the teams that have won it or got the far, like Houston wasn't a very good shooting team. There's other teams that UConn wasn't a good shooting team last year, but you still need to be able to shoot at times. And yeah, it's not the best backcourt for that. They don't really coexist very well. So I'm curious about how that rotation kind of works.
Yeah, I am as well, because again, these guys are all going to play major minutes. Now, again, KJ is not going to play as much, but KJ also is going to force his way onto the court. J. Mark Johns, the great J. Mark Johns, who thinks I hate him, but actually like him. I thought he made a very interesting comparison about KJ Lewis. KJ Lewis looks like every Baylor guard from those dominant teams. Sheer, you agree?
Yeah, the one thing with KJ, so I was getting more info on Kerr.
All right, do you want to break it now or no?
No.
Okay.
The one thing I'll say about KJ, I think KJ's a stud. He's really good, but you can tell when watching him, there's times where he still doesn't know what he's doing on the offense, and it kind of bungles up the offense a little bit. That'll go away with experience and all that. His energy is awesome. He's got to temper down a little bit, and Tommy said he's working on that. But
that's a good problem, though.
Yeah, I mean, you'd rather have a guy. And you say this in high school evaluations too. You always want a guy with too much of a motor than a guy that doesn't have one at all.
Yes,
you can't, and it's similar to Aiton because you brought him up a second ago. You can't give a guy a motor. You either play hard or you don't. And KJ Lewis always plays hard, and that's something that as a coach you love.
Now, Pelle Larsson, can he start shooting threes? Pelle Larsson, the king of the set shot three, my friends. Now, Larsson, a lot of people are asking, I believe Larsson will be good to go against Morgan State. What say you, Sheer?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he was moving around pretty good, and he the boot was gone. And what's the point of playing him last night?
Yeah, you don't. We just talked about Boot Hill Casino. Now we're talking about the Pelle Larsson boot as well right there. I believe Pelle is going to be good to go. Pelle is an interesting guy, though, this year because, again, towards the end of the year, he actually showed he was fairly refined in shooting the ball. It's going to be interesting to see if he can do that, though, here this year.
You leave my guy alone, Mike.
Hey, dude, I've already started. Listen, dude, I've apologized way more times than I should.
By the way, I do agree with the person on Twitter. We are on the verge of a.
Now, hold on. That's called a tease. That's called a tease, my friend.
But
we are on the verge.
I like Pella a lot. I think this is going to be a big season for Pella. I will be very disappointed if it's not. I'll just put it out there. I'm betting on Pella, but he needs to step up, especially like statistically. I need more from him.
All right. Yeah. So what does statistically mean, Jason Shear? Because again, with Caleb Love taking all the points right there, Kylan Boswell stepping it up. I think he's going to be like, now again, Reggie Geary slapped me down. What does Reggie Geary know? But, Reggie thinks that he can be in that mid-teen range. I don't necessarily see that.
He averaged 10-4 last season. I'm going 13-5 this season.
13-5 and a first round pick is where you're going as well. Correct?
Top 10, obviously.
All right, so lottery. All right, so you have Pella Larson going lottery, 13-5, and oh my gosh, can you imagine the victory lap that the Tommy gun would take if that happened?
If Pella Larson gets drafted at all, I think Tommy takes a victory lap.
All right, yes. Now, we got to talk about Kriisa. I was listening to Mulebach a little bit yesterday, another guy that doesn't know anything about anything, but he said, I didn't realize how large Kriisa is until I stood right next to him, and he says he is legitimately 7'2". That is an understatement right there, Sheer. He is legitimately 7'2". It's wild.
He's a large dude. You don't realize it until you're up close. And it's not just that he's tall, like he's built.
Mm-hmm.
He will not be pushed around. I texted you last night. He's already better than Zach Edey.
Easy. I mean, now, so would Zach Edey even play at the U of A? That is the question.
Absolutely not. No, on a serious note, does Zach Edey play against centers as big as Oumar and Kriisa?
Well, the thing with Oumar is he's definitely not 7 foot.
But he's big.
But he's big. Yeah, and he's back in shape as well. Oumar, do you want to tell the
Kriisa versus Edey is going to be like the first time they connect in the post? I mean, that's big boy basketball.
You did say that he was going to eat him alive, literally, Oumar Ballo. Maybe the summer Oumar Ballo would eat him alive.
Hey, come on. Unnecessary.
That was funny, though, right there. But Oumar does look like he's back in good shape, though. I am happy about that.
You know that if Oumar outplays Zach Edey, I mean, I'm dunking this all over you.
Well, no, you should, but I like my chances, right? No, I hope you do dunk.
I like your chances too, but I'm just saying on the slight note that he does.
All right. Now, Kilroy says, first team All-American for Pella right there. All right. I like it. Oh, gosh. Now the Dylan comments are coming in hot and heavy. Let's see. Edey would take Dylan's minutes. Here's my thing with Dylan. Get those minutes while you can, because those minutes are going to be spoken for next year at this point. Now, Philly B.
Going back to Dylan, that was a very interesting comment that Tommy made about redshirting. Do we think that could include Dylan?
I really hope. I've been telling Dylan Anderson's camp, including Frank Caliendo, that I would redshirt Dylan because, again, Dylan is. I'm just good. This is just pure speculation. Pure speculation. I don't know that Henry is going this, and again, pure speculation. I have no insight on this. I don't know that Henry is going to be here long term. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Dylan feels like a player, though, that if you redshirt him this year, Keshad Johnson's out of the way. Get that guy out of here. Then Oumar Ballo possibly moves on. There's minutes for Dylan. I believe that Dylan should redshirt Dylan Anderson.
If Tommy can do it, I would redshirt Dylan and Conrad. Conrad's not as bad as you think. Admit it. Come on. He's not as bad as you thought he was.
I just don't ever see him playing now here.
I could see him playing 10 minutes a game.
All right, cool. Like, and kind of like a back.
More
all
than
right.
Philly B.
Right?
That's all that matters. More than Philly B. Conrad has you're not feeling so great about that bet anymore.
Philly is a sniper, my friend. Philly is a sniper. Hey, Jacob
Frank goes in yesterday, and Philly goes, I am shooting. That is it. I am shooting.
We talked about how you don't want to take the confidence out of a player. That is the key right there. You do not want to take the confidence out of Philly B. Philly B's going in there looking to shoot. By the way, funny little joke. How many minutes, actually, and honestly, would Philly B play at ASU? Because he's playing.
15 to 20.
I think so as well. I don't think he's starting, but I think he's definitely one of the first dudes off the bench.
News always breaks on your show, Mike. We got big news.
What do you got? Talk to me.
Josh Dobbs was just traded.
Oh, somebody gave up something for Josh Dobbs?
6th round pick they got.
Wow.
to the Vikings.
Oh, are they going to start? Listen, we like making fun of Kirk Cousins because
they are.
Oh gosh, you're going to start Josh Dobbs. Good luck with that, my friends.
Oh man, I love the NFL.
All right, Noah, come on, Noah. Let's be nice here. What if we end up recruiting over him? You don't recruit over Dylan Anderson. It doesn't work like that.
You recruit under Dylan Anderson.
Yes, exactly. Now, this is very funny. Patrick Stark, the great Patrick Stark. Philly always looks like he just woke up. He does. No, but honestly, and again, we're going to get back into real talk here in a second. There is not a cooler dude on the team than Philly B.
Remember when Tommy told us like he recruited Philly B and he had to like go and like he opens the door and the dad or whatever it was is like chain smoking and he's got like bodyguards. He's like he went into he was explained to us like there's different when you go to like Bosnia or Estonia or Yugoslavia, like there's different types of players. There's like the Stojakovic's of the world where their dad's rich and everything's great, and there's like the Philly Bees where you're like in the slums and it's like nothing in college basketball will phase you if you just look around.
You know what also wouldn't phase Philly B and would absolutely look amazing? And by the way, the GOAT Brian Jeffries texted me that he's going to get some of these, by the way. Shady Rays. Can you imagine Philly B with Shady Rays?
Why imagine it? We need to make it happen.
Hide the co-eds on campus. Philly B walking around with Shady Rays right there. Check it out exclusively for our listeners. Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Philly B with Shady Rays sheer is something that, like I said, hide the ladies.
Yeah. I mean
the best way I can put it. All right. Now I want to talk a little bit about Kriisa. This is where it's so weird and where it's so difficult, I think, to really be able to evaluate foreign players because you guys 24/7, those guys, you guys had Henry as a top 40 player and Kriisa is a top 120 player. I'm going to give you guys some free advice. Don't rank international players. It's impossible. You can't do it. It's just difficult.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing with international recruiting. You're not seeing the guys up close. Like we've been on the board where I won't even be like I don't want to evaluate players overseas because I haven't seen them in person. Right. I don't even like evaluating players here that I haven't seen in person.
Right.
So it's so difficult. You don't know how they're going to react. You don't know how they're going to fit in when the going gets tough and they're on a plane all the time. You don't know how they're going to deal with school. Like these guys aren't going to school over there like they are here. It's just a different atmosphere. So it is very tough to evaluate international guys.
Oh, Noah coming in with the cheap shots right here. Noah, Mike would indeed go under Dylan. Oh, be nice right there.
I think he'd go over.
Right. Yeah. Terrible. All right. L Boom right here. I don't know that I necessarily see this. I'd love for Emmanuel Stephen to be ready, but I think Stephen is going to be a big man out of obviously Dream Christian City, as we determined yesterday. I think Stephen is going to be a guy that's going to take a year or two. I think he's going to be fantastic here, but there's a little bit of that Coloco type development that I see occurring here, Sheer. Do you want to go out on the limb and say that he's going to be a first-team All-American as a freshman?
No. He will be very good defensively as a freshman, and he is stronger than Coloco was when he came in as a freshman. But his offensive game is very minimal right now.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's going to be a lineup thing. It depends who they have at the 4. Like if they have a guy that can score at the 4, I think you can get away with it. If you have a guy that isn't a big scorer at the 4, it's hard to imagine that.
We agree that red shirt sophomore Dylan is clearly better than Emmanuel Stephen, though, at that point. Come on, say it.
No, not really. At what?
How about offense? Scoring.
Yes. Okay.
The key to the game is scoring the ball, Sheer. You play to score the ball.
I will give you offense if you give me everything else.
Okay, fine.
The knowledge of Tommy's game.
How about intangibles?
Intangibles. I love that.
Right, I know. Oh, by the way, hey, but your guy Josh Gershon used to always write in his write-ups elite intangibles. That was always the first.
Because back in the day, intangibles were like, do they defend?
Right.
That's what intangibles were. Do they defend? Do they play hard?
Now let's see. Oh, by the way, TR Burns 826. Philly Beast recruiting inspired uncut gems. I could see that. I could see that being the case. Now let's see here. This is a good question. Very good question right here. Angel C00. I had no clue who Amir Ali was until I looked on his profile and said that he's from Tucson. He is not from Tucson. I never remember seeing this guy here. I do think he's a good get for ASU, though.
I changed this yesterday. The school's not in Tucson. It's a Dream City affiliate, from what I gathered. There's no school like that in Tucson, so I changed it. I believe it's in Queen Creek. I don't know why Tucson was listed on the profile.
Can you imagine that kid at like Rincon or something?
Yeah, it's not. I've heard of every school in Tucson, I'm pretty sure, and that's not one of them.
So that was fake news.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right. Let's see here. All right.
Pretty Dancer has a good point, though. You
What?
know there's a mystery Euro that.
Of course, there's 3 mystery Euros.
Yeah, and he's going to be like 7'2" and have a hook shot from 15 feet. And poor Dylan.
By the way, Jamari Phillips' dad got him on the hotline. Told me Jamari had his first game or his first practice, fitting in very well. Likes his team there. There is nothing to say. There is nothing going on there. He's just in a better situation. Full systems go coming to the U of A.
Yeah, he's fine. It's a good fit for him. Arizona's very connected there for a few different reasons. He gets to play with a future teammate in Emmanuel Stephen. It's going to be fine.
All right, Sheer already complaining about. Oh gosh, you're already complaining about. Well, we got Dave on tomorrow, man. So again, we're not going to take any of that guff right there. Now, one other thing, and then we're going to get to some football here because again, Arizona football is very good. By the way, a kid at the gym at Vasa Fitness this morning, because I get there very early. As Sheer knows, I'm a very early riser. He came up to me and said, "Back the A." It made my day. I felt very, very good about it. You know what I also feel really good about, Sheer? I feel really, really good about Gila River. All right, here's the deal with Gila River right here. Now, all kinds of good stuff. You can win up to $100,000 cash, 21 and up only. Again, let's see here. Visit GilaMillionDollarShowdown.com to get in on the action. For more information on Gila River Resorts and Casinos and all they have to offer, head to play at Gila.com. All kinds of good stuff. Weekly pick'ems, win up to 1,000 free bonus plays every week. All kinds of good stuff. Gila River right here. Sheer, are these reportable rumors about Kerr Kriisa or no?
I mean, there's a rumor that it involved season tickets and him, similar to like when Ohio State sold memorabilia or whatever it was. Remember that whole ordeal?
The tattoo stuff?
Yeah, supposedly this is similar.
Right.
But again, multiple people have told me it does not involve Arizona. I wish Arizona, maybe you need to get on the phone with your boy. Arizona should make a statement saying it doesn't involve Arizona. All
right. Well, again, I will do what I can. By the way, we're going to transition here to football in a second. By the way, yes. All right. Zona Germany. This is very funny. Zona Germany says, I don't get the love for Dylan versus the hate for Henry. What did Hillen do? What did Dylan do that Henry did not? And you answered your own question, my friend. Dylan does not have a broken arm.
Mike has a long-standing feud with Henry's home country. I don't want to get into it.
Yes, when I go to Estonia, right there. But yeah, I will not be treated well.
You found out one of the Kia boys is Estonian, and since then it's been downhill.
Oh, I got new information on the Kia boys, by the way. The Kia boys, by all of you that don't know, if you weren't here yesterday, the Kia boys broke into my car. They tried to take my car. They couldn't, but they destroyed a ton of stuff in there. Kia boys, though, there were 2 Kia boys that were caught in the area last night. I will make sure, and then we're going to put Ben White on the case right here. But I will, if I find out who this is, they will rue the day that they broke into my Kia right there. Cooper Flagg is not coming to Arizona. It's not saying that. I'm tired of that. All right, now let's talk about some Arizona football here. Noah Fafita. If there's a National Freshman of the Year award, it's got to be Noah Fafita at this point, Sheer. It just has to be.
I mean, that award's already done. It's done deal. Noah Fafita is the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year.
Is there a National Freshman of the Year?
Yeah, but it won't be. I'm sure it won't be Noah. That's a good question, though.
All right. By the way,
I'll look into that today.
What's that?
I'll look into that today, actually.
By the way, you know that Noah Fifita is really balling out when you've got USC fans on USC message boards saying that they believe that they can get Noah Fifita and T-Mac to come to USC. How the tables have turned, my friends. I love how USC is now trying to take all of Arizona's starters right here. You will not get Noah Fifita. You will not get T-Mac.
No, that's definitely, they didn't want to go there out of high school. They're not going there now.
Yes, for sure. And again, they've got a pretty good thing going right here as well. Let's see, Duke at U of A next year, but he is coming to Tucson. All right, whatever. I don't care about Cooper Flag. Yeah. All right. Now, we can shut the page on Elijah Rushing. Committed to Oregon. Fine. Wish him nothing but the best. He committed the way that you're supposed to commit. Hashtag blessed. I'm going to Oregon. All of this stuff. I was fine with that. I think that maybe his camp learned from the first tweet right there. Going to Oregon, and I would expect that commitment to stick.
Yeah. I'm tired of Elijah Rushing. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I am too. Now,
he's going to Oregon. Very curious. The biggest thing that Mike and I are curious about is to see how good he is, because we're both skeptical, and we are not the only two, and this is not an Arizona,
right?
Sour grapes thing. We are very skeptical about how highly rated he really should be.
I am on record, and I've been on record since last year saying that Will Height is going to be the better player. Arizona is still recruiting Keona Will Height, Brad Rich. Like I said, I think Arizona's still got a chance in that one right there. So be that as it may. All right, now looking ahead to UCLA here a little bit. It's a fascinating game, Sheer, because again, UCLA is coming in as a field goal favorite. I think Arizona's going to win this game. Again, I think Arizona's going to lose one more game. Don't know where it is, but I do believe that Arizona is going to win this game. I believe Vegas is still a little bit behind the curve on Arizona, Jason Shearer.
It's interesting, too, because the spread moved in UCLA's favor.
Right.
Like right when it opened. Arizona's 7-1 against the spread.
Dude,
Vegas is, if you want proof that Vegas is behind with Arizona, 7-1 against the spread. I think Arizona's going to win this weekend, too. UCLA isn't bad at all. That defense is really good.
Mm-hmm.
It is very good. But UCLA, like Oregon State, is a different team on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And Arizona's actually going to have fans there this weekend.
They are better than Ethan Garbers is definitely better as well.
Yeah, 100%. UCLA is a good team. I mean, their defense is crazy. Their defensive line is awesome. It's going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be similar to that Oregon State game. I just happen to like Arizona more.
Ethan Garbers, by the way, show you how big the Back the A movement is. A family member of Ethan Garbers found my email on LinkedIn and sent me you'll like this, Sheer, and sent me a very long email about how Brad Alice was wrong, that it's Ethan Garbers, not Chase Garbers. And he also said that he backs the A. That's very good. But Ethan Garbers is just better than Moore at this point at quarterback. It's easy to say.
Moore is a very interesting case of what happens, and I'm curious what happens in the offseason of a guy getting a lot of NIL money and being told he's going to play and then getting benched for being absolute dog crap.
I mean,
does he leave UCLA? Does he stay there? It's going to be very interesting.
He was playing terribly. The
benching him is the right decision,
right?
But it's going to be interesting to see how he and his family handle that.
Because here's the thing, and again, I'm sure he's a great kid, but on the field, Chip Kelly's looking to win games right there. And yes, when you bring in a 5-star guy, you want him to be Trevor Lawrence, but sometimes they're not. And he is definitely not. Again, here's where I keep coming back to with Arizona football and why this is such a unique little situation we're in. Arizona is a complete football team. Arizona's got a good defense. Arizona has a good offense. There's not one spot on the team where you're like, all right, well, we can target that one right there. We can go get that. I say no. I say Arizona's going to win. I think Arizona loses one more game. It ain't this one, though, Skier.
Yeah, I agree. If Arizona wins out, that's wild. I don't think they'll win out. They'll lose one more game. It could be this weekend.
What is this? What are you doing?
Oh, it's something on Twitter making fun of Connor Stallions, our boy.
I blame that. No, what happened?
He was on Central Michigan sideline this season.
Oh, gosh.
Wearing a Central Michigan hat. They're wondering how they got there.
Here's what people need to understand too. What Jim Harbaugh did, this is kind of pathological at this point. It's wild how invasive this is. When you get the Michigan Attorney General are actually investigating you, probably not doing something right there, Sheer.
Yeah, it's stupid. The whole thing's stupid. But
let's talk about now. If Arizona, I believe Arizona. I got a bold take for everybody out there right now.
Bold take, Mike. Here we go.
Arizona next year is going to be a preseason top 15 team.
We're assuming everyone comes back. NIL doesn't screw over Arizona. Yes, I agree then.
I like it. But again,
Jaden DeLora will have Arizona in the top 15 next year. I absolutely agree.
The love that Jaden DeLora or the Jed Fish does sincerely have for Jaden DeLora is one of the more interesting aspects, I think, of this whole season.
Find a coach that loves a quarterback like Jaden DeLora and Jed Fish. Like it is still, and I know what Jed's doing. Jed's trying not to bury Jaden DeLora. Like it's clear that he's the second quarterback still and all that. But man, he really goes out of his way to not bury Jaden DeLora.
If nobody knew, and he could do what he wants without any fear of repercussion, and would he start Noah Fafita or Jaden DeLora?
It would not be an easy decision for him. I'll say that it would be something that he would think about.
And we like Jed Fish a great deal. He's done an A+ job. We're just poking a little bit of fun because Jed Fish can handle it because he's done a really good job. By the way, Kilroy right here. Only if Big Bill Norton comes back. Big Bill Norton is actually somebody that Arizona really needs to get back. Plus another year of the Bill Rush would be great.
Bill, yeah, he is. Pay him his money. Mm-hmm. Whatever he needs to come back to Arizona, he won't transfer. It'll be Arizona or the NFL or something.
And he's got a chance at the NFL. He really does. For as large as he is, he's got a chance.
Yeah.
By the way,
so he might just want to get on with his life. I don't know.
Superfly 247, very fly. Can you believe Fina's son is at UCLA? How did that happen? I can tell you how it happened. Arizona was like the 9th school to offer him behind USC and UCLA. That was maybe Kevin Sumlin's finest moment right there. You've got a legacy kid that is good enough.
Never going to Arizona. Think about that. Arizona never made him consider Arizona because of how much they bungled that recruitment.
Dude, you let USC, UCLA offer before you do to John freaking Fina's kid.
I am very confident in saying that if Jed Fish was the head coach at the time, not only does Fina commit to Arizona, he gets it done very early.
Let me ask you this. Does Bijan Robinson come to Arizona?
No.
I bet they could have gotten Ransom.
Yes, I'll give you Ransom.
Oh, Tony Jones, our guy, Tony Jones, back in the scene. Appreciate you, Tony Jones. By the way, Tony Jones has confirmed that the Kia boys are in Atlanta as well, right there. So, just saying, Kia boys are nationwide. But all right, so you don't think they get Bijan, but you think they get probably Lathan Ransom, Bruno Fina. I think they get Mateo as well.
Chris O'Dowd? What about quick we go back?
Jed Fish, we should have hired you 30 years ago, Jed Fish.
I miss Chris O'Dowd. I love that guy.
Yeah, no, Chris O'Dowd was really, really good. Let's talk about the DBs here for a second. Takario Davis. We already know why he's not a wide receiver. Joking aside, though, Sheer, looking to next year, having Ephesians Prysock and Takario Davis as your corners, yes, please.
And we knew that he would struggle a bit against Oregon State. Their wide receivers are 5'7". And really fast. It's a bad matchup for Takario. He actually did rather well, in that matchup and figuring out a way to slow them down. I know he dropped the picks, but yeah, I mean, next year you take a look. You've got, the two corners. You got Genesis Smith coming back. Gunnar Maldanado actually has another year.
All right, let's talk about it. Come on, let's talk about it. We're getting close. We're not there yet.
Gunnar is legitimately good.
Now,
Jed, did you hear Jed's little he basically went right at me and you.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? We can handle. We got broad shoulders around here. I think he did though. But I'm going to say this: I'm not there yet, but we're getting close to the hashtag #MyBadGunner. It's not that far off.
This is the week. Let's just make it. This is the week. If Gunner plays well on Saturday, then when
it's my bad
next week, we'll do a My Bad Gunner.
By the way, have you changed your Twitter background?
No, I will do that. I promise.
Skier, when he wasn't getting penalized by the great Matt Enser for cheering in the press box.
Dude, I don't think that was us, by the way.
I actually don't think it was either, because when I looked over at Matt, he wasn't looking at me.
Yeah, I don't think that was us. I know it's surprising. We thought it could. I'm changing it right now, by the way.
You're changing what? Oh, changing it as we speak.
Live on air.
All right. Sheer has joined the Back the A movement again. Oh, by the way, we have a new member of the Back the A movement, a defensive tackle from Indiana, transferred to the U of A. I did not see that he backed the A the other day. Very, very cool right there. T. Burns, Fafita, preseason Big 12 player of the year. They won't do that because Arizona's new, but I'll tell you one thing, wouldn't surprise me.
I was changing my Big 12 player of the year.
I mean,
it's probably Cam Rising, right?
I would oh, Cam Rising. I would assume. No, it'll probably be Shadur.
Yeah, it'll be someone like that. I mean, I didn't realize Dion's full comment. Did you see, he said that Shadur should be the leader of the Heisman because his offensive line is so bad?
Dion needs, I'll say this. I mean, that's
not going to fly for very long, man. You can get away with one or two of those. But
yeah, because sooner or later, when you start throwing your entire team under the entire position units under the bus and pumping up your son the way you are, you better win games, because you could also burn that thing down. Again, granted, it's Colorado, so who cares? But you got to be careful there, Sheer.
Well, I mean, here's what it comes down to. If you're trashing the offensive line and talking about how great your son is and how he deserves better, if you're the offensive line, why are you blocking for this kid?
That's what I'm saying.
You watch the UCLA game. I think it was 22 quarterback pressures. Shador's hurt. I mean, there's no way. It's actually, I will give him a ton of credit for sticking through this, because a lot of quarterbacks would not make it out of those type of games, walking and running and all that.
And Shadur is actually really, really good too.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah, Shadur is very good. All right, now, but looking ahead to UCLA, because I believe this is the only time we're going to have you on this week, because I have to have major dental surgery on Thursday.
Who's taking care of you, by the way?
What's that?
Who's going to take care of you after your surgery?
I'll get Ted Wardo back. He'll take care of me. Ted Wardo knows a thing or two about teeth with the No, I'm having supernumerary teeth removed from the roof of my mouth. I tried to put this off as long as I could to get through basketball, but I had to get it done before basketball. I've had this done before for teeth that grow in the roof of your mouth, not like Chief where you got the 2 layers of teeth, but like the teeth in the roof of the mouth right there.
Can you speak? If you have it on Thursday, will you be able to do a post game on Saturday?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. So I'm trying to figure that one out. We'll get it worked out one way or the other, but I am a little nervous. It doesn't necessarily I can move and everything, but the problem is there's so much swelling that it's from a triple type thing. So, anyways, all right. On that note, no better time to become PHNX diehard, by the way, right now. Again, talk about an off-scripted read right there. Again, you can get the Discord. This is the best time. Phoenix Suns are awesome. The Arizona Diamondbacks, if you didn't know, are in the World Series. The Coyotes, you got the great Craig Morgan right there, the best the best NHL guy going. ASU fans, or ASU's doing their thing. You got us. And again, watch parties, all that. By the way, does Stevie Rocker come back next year?
Does his dad watch this? Is his dad on this?
No, I haven't seen his dad on this one.
Stevie Rocker likes everything about the U of A except for the football part. So he may be on the team, but he's not going to be on the team.
Well, here's the problem. I don't really know what. I mean, it's a numbers game. And here's the thing. I watched Stevie Rocker. Sure, he's a great kid. I watched him at CDO, and there was a lot of games where there'd be 20 carries for 48 yards. I mean, we're talking, the U of A's got multiple NFL running backs here. I just don't know where he plays.
He doesn't. And I'm not sure that he really cares if he does or not, to be honest.
Right. All right. On that note, though, Sheer, where can they find you doing all your stuff?
At Jason Sheer on Twitter. Wildcat Scoop Podcast with Shelby, and then wildcatauthority.com.
All right, everybody out there, we've done yeoman's work. We got the great Dave Hickey coming on tomorrow. Let's see, Lamont Friday, which I will, don't ask, but we will get Lamont on Friday. We got all kinds of good stuff right here. But for the great Jason Scheer, I am merely Mike Luke. All of you, appreciate you. You're the ones that make the show, because now that Scheer can see the comments, it has opened up his live in a huge way. But again, for Scheer, the great Jacob Franklin, I'm Mike Luke. You've been listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.